industry now for a couple of years. Been doing a lot. I started off when people said you couldn't do it, but as you can see now, we're in a space like this. Big up to pawa254, who was a photographer when I started out at Fat Magazine, and he was coming doing the odd 1, 2, 3 pictures, and now he's been able to build his career, been able to give me a platform to be able to speak over here, and so many other people, you know. And it's just that I've just been hosting this week. I've been hosting in Universal Records. Anybody know Universal Records? They're finally coming back to Kenya, and they want to set up shop here. They were just so happy to see the passion of Kenyans, and just to see how much Kenyans have been able to build without infrastructure. You understand? They're coming from places like France, Paris, and South Africa, where there's so much infrastructure. And then you come here and you see people that have been able to build careers, people like pawa254, who now runs this place without too much of a budget, too much of infrastructure, but they just love the passion that is Kenyan. You know, me myself, having been a newbie to the Kenyan music industry, I was just so surprised at how much passion there was, and the disconnection between musicians and poets and people who want to do good things, but there was no engine to serve them into, you know, where the money was, right? So I figured, you know, because I've seen this happen in the West, you know, having attended, you know, lived in certain parts of, you know, Europe and North America, having seen musicians who are rich and having seen people making money out of their things that they do, I wanted to transform that and make this possible here, because it is a possibility. We live on a planet which is called Earth, and all these things that happen in England or America can also happen here. So we did the first music magazine that put Kenyan musicians on the cover of a glossy magazine. It's really psychologically playing with the people. Because every time you say something about Nameless, Nameless, he's just from here, South Sea, that guy, you know. That's the Kenyan attitude. People look down upon local people. Say, he's just a local artist. You know, what does that mean? You know, just, you know, when people talk about, this local artist, we just pay him 5,000. No. Every artist brings to the table something that's special. So if Nameless is making you dance, that's something special. You should pay him what he's worth. But what we found out was when we went to Coca-Cola, we wanted to negotiate a deal with Sprite, say, hey, can he sing at your launch? Say, yeah, just bring him. They didn't want to sign a contract. They just wanted to brush those things aside. I was like, no, we have to sign a contract. This is an artist. He is just as professional as a doctor or professional as a teacher. Please, let's sign a contract. He needs to perform, and you need to pay him what he's worth. But you could see the conversation was always like, nah, these local guys, you know? So we had to change that. We had to change that whole attitude, and we fought hard. It took us years to fight it. Until now, Nameless, whenever he's performing, he's given a normal contract. He's treated, you know, he's put in a, you know, when they have guests, he's put in his own room where they take care of him and his needs, and, you know, that was really a big fight. But it came from this conversation of where the government, even in the last constitution of Kenya, the word artist was never even there. Like, an artist was not a recognized person. The one thing that was there was they thought an artist is this guy who comes with a guitar whenever there's a wedding, and he puts his hat over there, and people pay him when they want or not. We had to change that. Like, no, this is not, you know. So I think it came from the perspective that artists are people who become artists because they couldn't go to school. But this is different, because I have a business degree. You understand? I went to school just like everybody else, and I excelled, you know? And just like Nameless or so many other people, that we have chosen to become artists. It's not something that we did because we didn't have jobs. You understand? So the whole perception was, these people are artists because maybe they couldn't. But we understand, we are the best in whatever we do. Nameless or whatever is an A student in architecture school at Nairobi University. He chose to become an artist. It's not because he couldn't get a job. You understand? We chose to do what we do because we like it, but we have to excel. We like traveling, we like living good lives, and we have to value the things that we do. Does everybody catch? So we came from that, fighting the radios, fighting the radio stations to start playing local music, fighting the people to start changing the perception of who an artist is. And it's not just a person who's lost, who doesn't have a job, or it's somebody that's really put in investment into his craft. And if you put investment in something, you have to gain back, right? And that's how entrepreneurship comes from. I'm not into the whole idea when people come up to me and say, hey man, I must make money, I must make money. That's not the attitude. The attitude is, first you must create value. If you don't have a value, then why should I pay you? I still battle with that. People come up to me like, hey, I've released a song, man, here's my CD. Give me some money. I'm like, dude, this is not how it's done. You know, it's not done like that. Like, we didn't come in the industry to make money. We came in the industry to create something that will make us money. But that's not the attitude. We don't go to people and say, hey, listen, give me this and I'll give you that. It's not that way. It's about building your value. You know, so and all over the time, we've seen people artists that have understood what the whole value means, and people who just don't understand. So you get a guy who's in Kibera or Dandora, has released one song, then he thinks they should be a millionaire immediately. I'm like, yeah, man, give me that. because he has seen Nameless do it, like, you guys, but Yola's given to Nameless. I'm like, but he's building value. He came from scratch and he built value. So you see, some people are coming into the industry thinking, oh man, that's a job. And then I hear people come up to me like, hey, this thing has money, yeah? This thing, yeah? And I'm like, that's not the point. The point is there is money, but you have to create the value. I'm not just going to pay you because you have some song, you know? So, and I've run a project called Wapi, which is a project where we went into the hood and we brought people from Kibera, from Dandora, because they didn't have a platform, right? You can't have an artist come in from Kibera and all of a sudden is having a show at Carnival. Carnival is a premium restaurant, it's known all over the world. You have to pull people. So from that, we've been able to create successful stories such as Octopizzo. Do you guys know him? Yeah. When the first time I saw Octopizzo, he looked like he was about to rob the microphone. He didn't even have shoes. I was like, wow. But look at how well we've been able to nurture him. He has his own website, he has his own videos, he's doing his own thing. He's being interviewed by MTV. I mean, that's the kind of artist I'm very proud of. Somebody like Giuliani, yeah? Giuliani too has been able to build his name and build a brand rather than give me money, give me money. It's about building value.
Okay, I think, you know, that's like a super entry point. And I think we're talking about venturing into the market, yeah? And I think I'll start a bit with probably John, yeah? We're talking about, we present almost a very